So this is what happens when you go to bed early because you don't feel well. When you come downstairs the next morning, things may be at a little bit of 6s and 7s. The good news is that it shouldn't take me too long to whip it in the shade. So let me get my apron on and we'll get it started. I guess it's really not as bad as it looks. Let me just explain to you what a little bit of some of this is. We had errands to run yesterday, so we had lunch while we were out, and it was a big lunch, so we made the decision then to have a light supper. And then when I ended up not feeling well and went to bed early, hubby brought me supper up on a tray. And so here's the pan that he used to heat up our supper. And then there's a couple things out that he used when he fried some fish to go with our leftovers. And then this is the bag that our fries came in. We had lunch at Five Guys, and they have the best burgers and the best fries. And to give you so many, we brought some home. And he put them in the oven to warm them up. So there's the pan that they were in, and just a couple little dishes and odds and ends in the sink. And there's just odds and end things over here. Here's some beautiful flowers that I was given as a gift, but these things here can be handled pretty quickly. And in case you're wondering what this bucket in the sink is, I'm soaking my dish rags and dish towels, and I had soaked them overnight, and I meant to wash them when we came back from our errands. But since I wasn't feeling well, that didn't happen. So that's what I'm going to take care of today as well. Get these Yeti mugs washed up real good, and you have to be sure and take the magnet off and clean under that, or it gets stuck and it can get kind of nasty. And whereas normally I would just rinse these off and put them in the dishwasher, I'm actually giving them a pretty good wash. And in case you were wondering what this is, it's a bona fide grease can. And my husband reuses his fish grease from time to time, so we keep it separated in here. And there's a little strainer on top that you can use to strain the grease, but it really doesn't get it very clean. So I will use a flour sack towel such as this, and I will line the strainer with that and then clean it. And the flour sack towel really strains it quite well. I ran out of dish soap, so I had to grab another bottle. And I've got this Method dish soap. It's the lemon mint, and it smells amazing. I just get it from a Grove Collaborative. I like sweet and interesting smelling dish soaps. So, and it's a good degreaser, so it's perfect for what I've got to work on right now. And I'll get these things put away, clean the stove, and things are looking pretty darn good pretty quickly. I got a little bit of oil on the bottom, so I want to make sure I get that off. And then I usually set it on a saucer so that if any leakage occurs, it gets in the saucer and not on the top of the stove. So I'll get the stove top cleared off and I'll get this set back on there. First. Now you see why I have so many of these little white bar mop towels, because depending upon what I'm doing, I might use a lot of them. Now to clean that stove. I didn't do it last night before I went to bed because, as I said, I wasn't feeling well. And when the hubby cleans it, he just kind of wipes it up with cloth. So let's take care of that. So you saw where I had already sprayed the top of the stove top down with my cooktop cleaner. And the reason why I did that was so that the product can begin doing its work. I'm feeling to see if I can feel any little particles there. If I can feel something, that means it needs to be scrubbed up or scraped off. And I'm just using the real simple stainless steel cleaner for my stainless steel portions, and the real simple cooktop cleaner for the cooktop. And then once I've got it pretty much cleaned up, and then I'll give it a really nice shine with my Wegmans cooktop cleaner, because it takes off some things that the real simple doesn't. And I'm just using paper towels for this. I like the Viva cloth-like paper towels. This little scraper came in a kit that I got when I bought the stove, and it's proved to be invaluable. I just like the shine that I get with the Wegmans. But I will say the Real Simple does do a really good job. When I first got it, I didn't give it a very good review. But what I was doing was spraying it on and wiping it right off. I learned from Melissa Maker at Clean My Space that some products you just have to let sit and let them do their thing, let them work, and then wipe them off. And I've been getting much better results. Okay. So now with my luck, hubby will come down and want to make lunch or something. So now this is all cleaned off. So I'll get these right here dried up and put away, and then I'll clean this counter and I'll be done. I'll wipe down my table with just a little bit of this orange glow. It's a wood furniture cleaner and polish. And I think once I sprayed the table with something I shouldn't have, so there's a couple scratches on here, but I like this wood and cleaner polish because it gives it a nice citrus scent and it shines the wood right up. And then of course there's scratches and scars that get here from just everyday use, and then sometimes my husband uses it as a craft table as well as our grandchildren when they're here, so it is definitely showing the wear of life. I'm going to let that dry, and I'll keep the flowers over here until the table dries, and then I'll put the flowers back over on the table. Well, I'm really glad I got this kitchen whipped into shape. Now I'm going to sit down and spend some time with my planner. I'm going to be starting a garage cleanup, the Great Garage Cleanup, but I'm going to work it as a project, so I'm going to work on it in 30-minute increments and set different goals and that kind of thing for the time that I'm working on it. So I'm going to sit down with a cup of tea and work on that So, onward and upward. That first sip is so satisfying. Okay. I'm going to get out my control journal first. And on my mission board for home, I am going to put garage cleanup. And this month, the focus is the garage. So my goal is complete garage cleanup by end of April. Now actually, what I've just written down is a wish. I would like for the garage to be done by the end of April, but until I actually plot it out on the calendar to see what's what, I won't know if that's going to happen. But that's my wish. I'm dreaming big, but we'll see what's more realistic once I get the plan made. So I'm going to take my journal out to the garage and just kind of count the number of different pieces that I think I have in this project. Then I'll start plotting things out on the calendar. Pencil, notepad. So it looks like I've got 27 pieces of this great garage cleanup puzzle. So 27 pieces. So start date is April 1st, and then end date is May 28th. So that gives me 2 months to take care of the great garage cleanup. And that's why I said when I first put down that I wanted this project done by the end of April was a wish or was a dream, because I hadn't actually plotted it out yet to see what was what. So this soup is mostly made from leftovers. I had some leftover penne pasta from pasta and meatballs a few days ago, and then I also had some leftover tomato soup. So now I'm making Italian chicken noodle soup with the penne pasta, and it smells delicious and it looks delicious, and I did sneak a little taste of the broth, and the broth tastes absolutely delicious, and that's always a good key for me. If the broth is tasting good, everything else should probably taste pretty good as well. Now the recipe actually called for 1 pound of chicken breast cut up into bite-sized pieces, and since I was mostly making this soup from leftovers, I decided to use my preps, and I used 2 cans of the chicken breast, and I just kind of shredded them up a little bit and dropped them in there, as well as my leftover penne pasta, my leftover tomato soup. I also got to use some of my very own sage and thyme that I had dried. They just taste so good in soup, so I used those things as well. So I'm going to make some corn muffins, just jiffy corn muffins, and I'll pop those in the oven, and this will be lunch. Look at this muffin mix. I let it sit on the counter while I got my muffin tin ready, and it rolls nicely, so the muffins should look very good. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to fill your muffin tin right away. You want to let it rise. And then I greased my muffin tin really well so that I don't have trouble getting them to release from the pan. They look pretty good. And the last task of the day is to get these dishcloths folded and put away. And just so you know, I'm launching my apron shop, Apron Diva, on April 11th. Be sure to click on the link in the description box so you can be notified when it goes live. If you want to see more episodes of My Homemaking Story, click here. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying you are not done yet. Click on the link in the comment section below and check out my video on Whole House Declutter Mega March Motivation, finding the hidden clutter in your house. And I will see you next time.